What is good? What's up, everybody? We're here. It's Sunday.
Up?
We made it.
All the dudes are here. And Lucas, our new dude.
We made it. We made it. What's up, Lucas?
Dude kisses.
We are rocking here in Denver, Colorado. We're one day away from having a championship coming home here.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Yeah, I got to agree.
Yep. No doubt about it.
I think Jokic is probably the closest thing to Larry Bird I've ever seen in basketball besides Larry Bird.
It's fair. At least as of right now, at this point, that's a fair comparison. The man is just doing it absolutely all. It really is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing tonight? Where is the chat? I didn't even pop this up. Let's do this real quick.
What'd you do?
You broke it.
All right.
You broketed the toy, didn't you?
All right.
Plug it back in.
Let's welcome Benji becoming an RMP pay-per-view member.
Yay.
Welcome, Benji. Good stuff.
Benji
bud.
did the thing. Good job doing the thing.
Yes.
All
Did
right.
the thing.
We have Queen Vampires, Marin, Alice Lane, and that is it so far. So welcome.
Alice has
Everybody.
the Matthew McConaughey going. All right.
All right. Let's get her going.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about here, so let's get everything rocking and rolling here. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a special episode, actually, of Dudes and Belts Recharge here on YouTube. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, and like I said, we got a big show to talk about here. It's been about a week and a half in the making, basically. It's been that long. So before we get into everything, let's introduce the panel tonight, because it is a full panel here. On the top left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, the one and only Coast Crusader.
What is going on, everybody? We got a lot to talk about. We have a cup. We have a clown and a psychopath. We have a charge championship. We got all kinds of stuff.
And in the middle, we have our resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
It was all on the line at Milestone and the Ignition, the pre-show, the Colorado Cup. It was all there. What a surprise win that we saw. Danger Dean taking it home, making his triumphant return. Speaking
Not
of
a surprise to Johnny.
But speaking of triumphant, there was also another return that we're going to get to. We talk about the Colorado Cup. You stay right here.
On the bottom left, we have the one and only Sunday Night Savior, the other Jeff.
Yeah, tons to talk about. There was a stone that was a mile long. I think there was something about that. Was that? No? All right.
Something like that.
A lot of matches, a lot of good stuff. Titles changing hands, lots of stuff.
And on the bottom right, we have the inspirational one himself, the one and only Triple I.
You know, Coastal mentioned how we had psychos and crazies and we have triumphants from Marky Pins. We have D's as well, guys. We have D's we have to talk about as well, you know, and we will get into that very, very shortly. I'm looking forward to it, and so are all of you.
And of course, you've seen him on our episodes of Recharge. You see him on the table on Ignition. He is RMP's encyclopedia, and he will be making home on Sunday nights during the Rewind episodes. He is the one and only Lucas Bradwell.
Guys, I am excited to be here on Sundays, and it's been 10 days since Milestone. I haven't really had a chance to reflect on my thoughts. I got a lot to talk about. I also got to thank Johnny for joining me on the Milestone pre-show. I had a blast doing commentary with you and Derek. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be great to finally reflect on what, in my opinion, out of my 11 milestones, is got to be in my top 3. So that should tell you something.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time, gentlemen. Let's get right into it. Typically, during these pay-per-view reviews, we do specifically focus on the main card of the night. But however, because of how extravagant Milestone 13 typically is, and because we do have the Colorado Cup and a title defense on the pre-show, we will be talking about the pre-show as well as the main card this evening. So, to kick things off, we had YSL going up against Panthro and Jason Knoll. Obviously, there's been a lot of back and forth between Jason Knoll and YSL in the past. It came to blows during the pre-show of Milestone. Guys, what did you think? We'll start with Coastal and we'll work our way around.
No, absolutely a statement win for YSL. I mean, you saw how the match ended, guys. The big Superdome on Jason Knoll, followed up by Big Frog Splash. It was a statement win. They wanted to pin Jason Knoll. They wanted to put all this behind them, and they did. And they both looked very great doing it. I mean, as I've said before, these two guys are probably your next in line for a tag team title shot. They are that good together right now. I know they're going to pursue some single stuff coming up. We've already seen it on Ignition and a Charged episode. So if they do choose to go after those tag titles, I'd say they're right in line. But, I mean, Briscoe Crown, Marky. This guy does nothing but, I don't want to say surprise us anymore because it's not a surprise. He just, he does his thing.
The volume's just always turned up to 12. He's found ways to win. He's not happy, satisfied when it's 7 or 8. He turns it up to 12, and with the big man Kendrick LaRoe by his side, the two of these guys bring each different pieces of the pie to the entire table. And this problem with Jason Knoll, and now that Jason had found a confidant in Panthro, this is a formidable tag team that your starting lineup goes against. But the motivation was there, the strength was there, the will was there, the heart was there for your starting lineup, and they get the job done. And now they can focus, carry it on Sunday on more things that are more important to them, like maybe going for the tag team championships or pursuing themselves in singles. But either way, Sunday, this is big confidence boost for your starting lineup.
Yeah, your starting lineup, and I think Lucas mentioned it on commentary. They've been together for about a year now, and they're really clicking, going on all cylinders, taking on all comers. They are that perfect combination that we've seen many times of the big guy, the smaller guy, the strength, the speed. They've got it all. They can match up with anybody. And yeah, I do believe that they should be next in line to get a tag team title shot, or at least be in some sort of tag team title eliminator or something to get a shot. And I do think whoever they end up facing at that point for the tag titles is going to have their hands full, because those guys they're just really, really that good. And I mean, I don't know what would be next in line other than a title shot, because they just keep getting their arms raised. What are your thoughts, Triple A?
I agree with most of what you dude said. I want to add two things here. One, they had guys. We're focusing on the tag team title shot, tag team this, tag team that. That's a fair point. But you got to understand also, there was extra incentive in this matchup. The extra incentive here is that the winners of this match, this tag team match, get added to the Colorado Cup. And the winner of the Colorado Cup gets a guaranteed RMP Heavyweight Championship match at Shocktober. So, though they're a tag team, an established tag team that is, you're looking at a potential guaranteed shot at the biggest prize in all of Rocky Mountain Pro. So, what more incentive do you need to win this match? So we cannot lose sight of that. That's number one. Dude. So
very valid point.
So thank you. That one, and then number two, the fact that they're already established tag team for nearly a year now. You combine those two together, it's almost a guaranteed victory. For your starting lineup. The last thing I'm going to add as well is that they're in line for a tag team title shot. No doubt about it, no questions here. But as we will, because I don't want to give I don't want to get too much into it. But as we talk about later on today, there's been some shakeups in the tag team division with the tag team championship. So, are they next in line, or are they just waiting in line? There's no pun intended here either, guys. That's something we're going to talk about in a little later in the show here.
All right, Lucas.
Well, there's probably nothing I can add to what you guys have already said about your starting lineup, but I do want to say something about Jason Knoll. And even though this has to be a super disappointing loss for the guy, it might be a blessing in disguise, because what I think is that he was so consumed by what he was imagining as being slighted by your starting lineup that I think it was all overshadowing just how great of a wrestler that Jason Knoll really is. And we really haven't had an opportunity to see that yet. But I'm telling you guys, I've known Jason Knoll for a long time, well before his Abatu days. the guy can go in the ring. And I think now that he can kind of move past this, I think you're going to start seeing the real Jason Knoll, a more focused Jason Knoll, a guy that really can show you what he can do in the ring. So as much as this is a disappointing loss for him, he can now move on, and I think you're going to see his career start to skyrocket here at Rocky Mountain Pro.
It's a valid point, Lucas. That's one thing we did overlook is that, yeah, Jason Knoll can go. Watch the rewind. You've seen it if you've seen it. Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. We'll have to see where he takes this from here, because that's where it all started, with that dissension from your starting lineup and taking that anger and moving forward. That puts the rest of the locker room on notice. It's a good point.
All right. Move on down the line here in the pre-show. This match was supposed to be a triple threat match for your Ignition Championship. However, there were some antics in the back. One, Gino Rivera committed, and we didn't find that out until the match actually started. We actually got an earful from the back saying that Sky Hossman was unable to compete due to unfortunate circumstances from one Gino. So it turned out to be a one-on-one contest for the Ignition Championship between Gino Rivera and Zamore. Marky, we'll have you start this one off.
Zamore's just living large here. You know, Gino Rivera's been on that quest for RMP gold for a while now. He found a target in Zamore, and that's a dangerous target to put in your own crosshairs, because that is Zamore right now, and that man is red hot, and RMP proves it. Walks in to Milestone, the champion, walks out the champion. He's just riding so high. I don't know what it would take to remove the Ignition title off of Zamore, but right now that's proving to be one of the hardest things. Is not even to remove the title off him, but just to get his shoulders down for more than a 2 count is proving to be nigh impossible for so many people in RMP right now. And Gino Rivera just runs up against the brick wall that is Zamore. He gets his win, he keeps his title, and he is the fighting champion that we were hoping that he was going to be. We seen him almost Sunday, a couple months ago, go down a darker path than this, but he seems to have redeemed himself, and he's really pushing forward.
Yeah, I agree. He's becoming an unstoppable force. And you say you don't know what it would take to kind of beat him at this moment. I think it would take multiple men, and I think Gino kind of made a mistake here. You know, if Gino was the guy to take, and somebody mentioned in commentary, might have been Johnny, might have been Derek. Why would you take out another guy that you could use to take down a guy like Zamore and you know, just counter a guy like that, and then maybe you two go at it yourselves, or you have some underhanding things you do after the fact. Then that's the way I would have gone about it if I was him. I would not have wanted a one-on-one match with Zamore, because it was going to end the way it ended, and that was with Zamore getting his hand raised. But so, I mean, now we got the, you know, like you said, a fighting champion, a guy that doesn't seem to be able to be beat. Triple I, who do you think could beat Zamore and take that title off of him?
You guys are all going to be shocked by this. I think Gino Rivera is the guy that could beat Zamore and win the Ignition Championship. If you could allow me a few moments. So I know Zamore. Everyone's going to talk about Zamore, and rightfully so. I love Zamore. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Zamore. He's a fighting champion. He's a dominating champion. He's got momentum on his side as well. There's no doubt about that. We're not disputing that. What it comes down to here, guys, is did you guys see Gino's versatility in this match? His speed, his athleticism, his aggressiveness, his early onslaught attack on Zamore. He brought the fight to Zamore. All right. And Sunday, you mentioned, why would you take out Sky Hossman, you know, as a potential, you know, ally to help team up on Zamore? I think of it as, all right, one less person in my way. Now I have one guy to worry about, not two guys. And if I lose the match, it's on me, not someone else. But there's two things that Gino Rivera did in this match that contributed to his downfall. One, you slapped Zamore in the face midway through the match. How many times have I said this? You slap your opponent, you know, over and over. You are going to piss them off. I don't care how big or how small they are. You will piss them off. You're going to wake them up, and they're going to beat the ever-living hell out of you. That's exactly what Zamore did, all right? He got overzealous there. Number two, after Gino hit this beautiful, sensational running cartwheel coffin drop, followed by this frog splash on the top rope, you know, he pins him. instead of continuing for a close two, instead of continuing the offensive attack, what's he do? He goes and grabs the title to try to, get his cheap shot in, and that led to his downfall as well. The point is, Gino beat Gino in this match. He slapped the big man when he shouldn't have, and he went for the title, knowing very well that that's going to cause a DQ, and you're not going to win the championship that way. You take out those two factors, gentlemen, and I think Gino could be your potential next Ignition champ. Coastal, do you agree with that, or potential some other option that could be the next Ignition champ?
I mean, I just think that, there's a saying, pride cometh before the fall, and I think that was Gino Rivera's big thing in this match. Is number one, I don't think he should have taken out Sky Hossman. I think if he wanted to see how to do that, you watch Curtis Cole later on how to win a triple threat match, being the smallest guy in the room. And, you use your everything to your advantage. And I think Gino, I would have given him a little more credit being smarter. He's a veteran. But Triple I, you're exactly right. He's a bulldog. He just goes right at you, 100 miles an hour. I just think sometimes when you make a mistake at 100 miles an hour, it resonates bigger than a smaller mistake. And he made a few mistakes tonight. But right now, honestly, I think Zamore, his world is Ignition. And everyone else is just living in it. And he's come knock me off the mountain. And Lucas, I don't see anybody knocking him off the mountain right now.
I can't think of anybody because we've watched him defeat the biggest and baddest that we have to offer. He's beat Damon Ace. He's beat just everyone that comes his way, even wild card type people like Sergey, who you never know what you're going to get. He can beat even the unexpected. And he does it 2-on-1. It doesn't matter. He is so locked in to what he's doing in the ring that I just can't see anybody that is competing at the level that he's competing at and doing it in such a dominant fashion. It's something that I think we should all enjoy, because eventually somebody will find out the secret recipe to beating Zamore. So I think right now we just need to enjoy what we're watching, and until that happens, I think we're watching history being made.
I agree. He's looked so good every single time he comes out. It's going to be really, really hard to take that level of confidence away from the young man.
Do we have a stat on the longest Ignition champion?
I think that's one championship that's kind of been a little bit forgotten. I'm trying to think about some of the past champions. The longest I know, like Casanova I believe was the first Ignition champion. I don't think he held it that long. I think Zamore's already, beaten him. So
it's not surprising.
Yeah, I could very much see once we get into the record books that this will be a record title reign by Zamore.
Good for the big man.
All right. Well, moving on here, and Lucas, I'm going to have to start off with you here. I want you to set the stage here for the Colorado Cup.
Okay, so we started out with 20 people that were going to be randomly drawn, coming in at intervals of 30 seconds each. If you haven't seen the Colorado Cup, very reminiscent of the Royal Rumble, except our intervals are only 30 seconds. And the winner of this match gets a title shot, Rocky Mountain Pro title shot at Shocktober. Last year, let's not forget who was the winner. David Drake, you're now Rocky Mountain Pro champion. So this match has always been huge for whoever won it. In fact, someone who won it a couple years ago just popped up in the chat, Balaam Links. So, yeah, we started off this Colorado Cup with two Lockettes. Started off the Colorado Cup, as it was Skylar Slice and Adrian Mascara. And boy, did both of them impress. Adrian Mascara had a good showing, but Skylar Slice, guys, I thought for sure she was going to win this Colorado Cup. She was dominant as her name, the dominant one. She survived all the way to the very end until we got our big surprise. So you know, I don't want to ruin all the little surprises that going on, but I'll tell you when Johnny, you know that when we heard that music of Severino Corrente, you and I and Derek, we couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was definitely a surprise, and I think more of a surprise is someone who we haven't seen in a very, very long time on Rocky Mountain Pro television, and that's Humphrey Jacobs the first.
Yes.
The last Colorado Cup was the last time we saw him, wasn't it?
Yep.
And he was the first ever winner of the Colorado Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was Humphrey Jacob, the first ever winner.
Yes.
The first ever winner, absolutely. It flows like a river.
Yes.
That flowed beautifully.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
All right, we had Lucas set the stage. This is a battle royale, so we'll let the open table discussion here ensue. What are your thoughts on the actual match itself, one by one? It doesn't matter who starts.
So
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I'll start. I'm not going for the whole Colorado Cup. I just want to pinpoint a certain segment in that, Johnny, if that's okay.
That's fine. I
So-
mean, we have plenty to talk about between
Exactly.
the
Right.
other dudes.
Exactly. 6, 7 of us, and this is a huge match. So I just want to pinpoint one segment of this of the Colorado Cup. It was towards the beginning. It was the number 5 and number 6 entrant of Casanova and Koyama.
This was beautiful.
What was beautiful? The first thing that was so beautiful about it was the entrance music. That was great.
You were disappointed. You must have been completely.
So
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Thank you. But first of all, that the Colorado Cup is already a winner in my book because of the entrance music. But then what sets the tone right here is that Koyama went right after Casanova, and he didn't care about winning the Colorado Cup or earning himself a future RMP championship match in October. All he cared about was getting to his partner and eliminating him and bringing the fight to him to show who is the superior athlete, who is the superior partner in JK Pop, who is the superior wrestler, so on and so forth. That's all they cared about. They didn't care, you know. So why that's so important is because that set the tone and set the stage for their 2 out of 3 falls match later in the evening. So something just to remember and table for now until we get there later tonight.
So my thought on this is I want to go right to the winner, and I want to know how Johnny figured it out. I want to know his inside thing because he picked Danger Dean to win, and when none of us even thought Danger Dean was coming back.
I have witnesses and I have people that know that my pick was at that time very much outlandish, sir. I had no idea what it was. No idea.
No. Coastal can verify was there. Was an absolute complete surprise when I was in the referee meeting and we saw the list once it had already been drawn. I just looked and I went, that lucky bastard.
Yeah.
If he wins, because he's in. If he wins,
And it's funny because
John's flying home himself.
and and it's funny because I had a conversation with Dean before the whole event started, and he didn't even tell me that he was even wrestling at all. He
kept the whole thing very quiet. Until,
He's got a good poker face, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, he went out and won it by himself, but just getting himself in there.
Well, I mean, he almost didn't. I mean, Skylar Slice, like Lucas said, was an absolute just force in this match. And I think it's just shown, I think Lilith needs to be on point now because, you know, we'll get to that later as well. But Skylar Slice is your next mountain to climb if you are in the Lockettes division.
So, sorry, guys, to interrupt. Coastal, that's a good segue for this. And maybe Lucas can add some insight. Maybe next year there could be a Colorado Cup for the females, for the Lockettes. It may not be 20 of them, but maybe 10 of them or whatever. And the winner of that can earn a guaranteed RMP Lockettes championship match after October. You know? So, possibility.
And that's also a possibility. I know there's a lot of Lockettes that are coming up. There's also a lot of former Lockettes that could possibly make a return. So that's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that would be great, and if we could get enough of them to come in, I think that would definitely be something that the committee would look at.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are a former Lockett and you thought of maybe coming back and taking a shot at that Lockett's title, that'd be not like it's an easy way, but at least you could get there in one match rather than having to climb the ranks.
Stephen Ashburn. He's not allowed.
No.
But I mean, for me in this match, Dalton McKenzie, he's a house. He can do what he wants for the most part. Obviously, he didn't end up winning it, but I mean, there were moments where it looked like he could have taken on 6 guys at once.
Oh, poor Tommy.
And handled it himself.
I was going to bring that part up when it was my turn.
Yeah.
Tommy, what are you doing? Well, you got in again, and you went after the biggest guy in the room again.
It doesn't work well, does it, Marky?
Complete and utter decimation again. Look, Dean had to re-eliminate Tommy when the next Charged episode a couple days later. He had to re-eliminate. We as the refs felt so bad for the beating that Tommy took. He got thrown out through the second rope, yeah, but we had to make a discretion judgment call that he was not fit to compete. But he squawked, and yes he could, as he was picking his eyeballs back up off the floor. And we said that you had to go. So, and long story short, Presidente took care of business the next day and made sure that on the next episode of Charge that he took care of him and got rid of him over the top rope. So, theory confirmed. D-Hort lost a lot of money betting on Tommy. That was not such a good bet.
Yes, thank you for the $5 super chat. And, of course, Johnny called in a favor and bet on Dean. Johnny's actually got a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
But if
not
D-Hort,
wrong.
why would you, if you lost a lot of money betting on Tommy, you should have saved that money and added that to this donation.
Yeah, but it's the odds. It's the odds, man. You got to bet on the odds, because if it hits.
That's the worst odds ever.
Yeah.
Ever. I got a better shot of winning. I got better odds of winning the Boston Marathon than he did.
I was just going to talk about
Dalton McKenzie.
Well, what's the Adam Sandler movie where what's the fat guy wins the Boston?
That's my boy.
Yeah,
he drinks the chocolate milk. That'll replenish him.
All right. Do we
5,001?
Do we have any more discussion on the Colorado Cup?
The only thing I want to say is I can't wait to see Dean try to become champ again.
Danger is go.
It was good to see him with the gear.
Go.
He looked ready. He looked able. He was in great shape. I'm not putting a run outside the guy. Not in the least bit. Dino, go get it, buddy. Do what you can do.
But imagine,
I will say
this conflict with his duties as RMP president.
I asked him that. I did ask him that. So he kind of deflected it on me, saying that I'm partially to blame for a lot of the criticism and he felt pressured to do something. And he felt that this was really the only way to do it, to finally take matters into his own hands. And he assured me that he would still be able to take care of all the other duties as he was training and getting ready for this matchup. So I'm going to try to pressure him more to get more out of him, as I will be doing commentary for the next few weeks on Charge. So I'm going to be having opportunities to kind of really get into the mind of Danger Dean and what he's thinking going into this matchup. He's still got several months, but he better be getting prepared right now.
Well, he can make it a lot easier. I'm not saying Dean never would, but I mean, he could really make David Drake's life really, really bad. He can make him defend that title every week. He is the president. So.
Valid point. Now, do we have conflict of interest, though? Are we going to get into that? We're going to have to keep watching and find out.
Where's Preston? Preston will know all of this.
Oh, God.
Don't get him involved.
That'll make it way more convoluted. Way more. Way worse.
He is the lawyer for RMP, right?
Oh.
Ugh.
He was a lawyer for a dysfunctional tag team.
That's a good point.
All right. If that's it, we're going to move on to the main card of Milestone 13. And I don't think I have any other comments to read other than, but imagine if you would have won, my wife could have quit her job. It's true. All right. Moving on here. We have the Charge Championship match. No disqualifications to open up Milestone 13. Sunday, I know I haven't had you let off a match yet, but we're going to give you the 2 out of 3 to start. We're going to have this guy over here, Triple I, talk about the Charge Championship match between Remy D and Carson Drake.
Yes, thank you, Johnny. I will take the lead on the D. So I gotta say, you have your biggest pay-per-view of the year for Milestone, and you start out with Remy D. You cannot go wrong with that. And I know I give him his flowers too often, but it's not often enough because I love that dude. And what a match this was. I want to fast forward this though, right to the middle of the match, middle towards the end. Guys, remember, this is a no disqualification match. This is favoring Remy because of all his pent up aggression and the way CBD's been pissing him off and getting to him and how he lost the title as well in the first place. So this is favoring Remy D. So we got to a point in the match here, midway through in the match, and there was a point where Remy had hit a rolling thunder on the chair on CBD. And then shortly after that, CBD is staggering back and forth, and it gets tied up in the ropes. And at that point, that's the pivotal point of the match. Remy D had a chair, and should have just gone to town on him. Should have gone to town. And what's he do? He hesitates. You never hesitate in a championship match. Whether it's a DQ match or no DQ match, stipulation, no stipulation. You are competing for a championship. And you hesitate, and right there, that's where I think it cost him, because CBD was able to escape the ropes, and then that led eventually to his victory over Remy D. I gotta ask, I'll let anyone take over from here. How does Remy D bounce back from this, gentlemen? How does he bounce back? How does he move forward?
I'm not entirely sure, honestly. I mean, Remy had a hard time pulling the trigger on the absolute badass we know that he can be. And it's one of those things where you argue with yourself, is it worth it? And he had that moment of, is getting to this level of violence worth it? And he hesitated. And we all now know that Carson Drake does not hesitate on anything. He just keeps the title however he needs to, and he'll hold on to it however he needs. So I think this is something Remy needs to take, and Remy goes from here to do a lot of pondering, a lot of where do I go from here? That's my thought. And we're in the Carson Drake era of a charge title, and I will give him his props. He finds ways to hold on to that title and to keep it. He's very intelligent in the ring. It's devious, it's scummy, yes, but it is intelligent nonetheless.
And I'm sorry, Mikey. The one point I left out in my rant earlier is that when CBD got tapped in the ropes, he spit at Remy. The ultimate sign of disrespect. He spit at him, and Remy went to town on him, and he still hesitated with the chair. I'm at a loss of words of how that happened. Why did he hesitate? I know
he showed a level of mercy. He showed a level of mercy. He had CBD in the ropes, open, exposed, and Remy had a steel chair in his hand. It would have been over for a very long time, not just for the 3 count. He showed mercy on a man who was helpless at the moment in time. The same man who had outsmarted and screwed him over more than a couple times. Remy showed mercy. He has a heart. Ref Alice says it perfectly. Right as I'm about to say it, she says it. He showed that he has that level of heart, that he wasn't willing to literally destroy another human being's face to take a piece of gold away from him in that level of a situation. But then CBD showed his heart and just how oozy-goozy disgusting that it is. And he just turns back around, takes that moment of mercy and hits him in both of the D's. I mean, this is as low as you can go if you are somebody like CBD. I hope he thinks he's a good champion because at this moment in time, man, I can't wait to see this guy lose and lose big.
Yeah, I mean, Remy, like you said, he showed mercy, he showed heart, he showed, I guess that like who he truly is. But in the end, in this game, sometimes you need to shed that to be successful, and he didn't. And now Triple I to say where does he go from here? He goes to the bottom, and he has to start over, and
Yep.
crawl his way back to the top, and relearn his way back to the top, and he's good enough where he will. But I think he kind of needs that to reinvent himself a little bit and make himself even better. I think that's the best way for him to go.
Guys, I haven't heard a word or seen Remy D in the 10 days since Milestone. He hasn't been at the Wimmer Arena. He didn't show up on Ignition. He wasn't at the Charge. I'm concerned for him. I can tell you that I had a conversation with him before Milestone, and he told me just how worried he was that he didn't want to go to that dark place. He didn't want CBD to push him to that dark place, and he was fighting it really bad. You could see during that matchup. I think that internal fight took a lot out of him. And I'm concerned. It may be a while before we see Remy D again. I think he's needing some time to maybe find himself once again. But this is a bad place for Remy D. He did not want to go to that old place that he once knew as growing up in Detroit, Michigan. As I've told you guys before, he shared with me. This is a time where I think he's going to need to really find himself, because we saw him almost go to that dark place, and you could see just how disgusted he was with himself. So I'm hoping the best for him, and hopefully we'll see him here pretty soon.
All right. And CBD walks out your Charge champion of Milestone 13. That's how we kick off
great.
Milestone.
Whoa.
He's great. Just ask him. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Or you don't even have to ask him. He'll say it into the megaphone. Just give him a minute.
He'll yell it out, yeah. Oh my god.
All right, next matchup here on the docket, Sunday. We have the 2 out of 3 falls, the one that I'm sure most of the dudes and bells here have been looking forward to for quite some time. Caden Koriyama versus Johnny Casanova.
Real quick, the ref was great for this match, by the
I
way.
was gonna say, I know the ref was looking forward to this match.
Very much so, yes. And I will say, in all truthfulness, I was as absolutely neutral in the knuckleheadery as I possibly could. You have knucklehead A and knucklehead B. There's no
Wait.
way
Which one's Knucklehead A and which one's Knucklehead B?
Exactly, yes. So all you do is you just kind of sit there and just watch the stupidity happen, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Sorry, Sunday. I'm sorry.
No worries. I mean, and I mean, I think we all have respect for both their abilities in the ring. We, even with the knuckleheadery, the horsecockery, and whatever you want to call it, long before they turned into what we now know as JK Pop, when they were the JK Pop before tag team champions, before joining the Wake, they were very successful in doing it the right way. So we know they can go. We know they can do it. And so I was actually somewhat interested in this match and seeing how it would go about. And at first, there was a lot of like back and forth technical moves. Like they obviously know each other very, very well. So there was some reversals, some avoidances. It wasn't like that free flowing, because once one thought the other one was going to start going, they kind of backed off. But I mean, then the horsecockery begins, and obviously, Maki, the position you were in, you could not see the tights pull on the roll up. And
No, I watched it back afterwards, and where I was standing, Koyama got me.
It was probably this much. If it was over this much, it would have caught your eye. But it just exactly perfectly spotted, and that's part of what they've been doing these last couple
And
of years.
they're experts at that stuff. It's hard.
Right, sight lines, everything. So they gets the first fall, and then I mean, more horse cockery where he's got a chokehold that, you lift the arm and Caden got lucky. You lift the arm. He got lucky. It could have been over right then and there. And then you did the right thing. You caught him right down the middle. You counted a 5, gave him his chance. Because I even think after you said 5, you would have given him the chance to let go and go.
If he broke it on 5, I'd have kept it going because they'd have kept beating each other up, and that'd have been worth it.
But
that'd have been worth it.
No. So then the horse cockery continues again as they off the outside they end up missing each other.
That was great. That was great.
But Caden showed where he's the smarter of the two. Johnny went for a towel. Caden went for a bottle of water. Bottle of water is going to clean your eyes out quicker. Johnny goes for the towel. He's still wiping it away. Pedigree 1, 2, 3. Caden Koyama, your winner. Johnny Casanova looking up at the lights. Awesome. Fantastic. Triple I. Who did you think was going to win going into this?
I honestly thought Koyama was going to win. I did. I feel he is, and I'm sure not just the dudes, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that potentially feel the same way. And let me prove my point. I know Casanova got the first fall, and Marky, you're the referee here, but Casanova pulled the tights on the first fall. I know you didn't see it, but my point is he was already in desperate mode by pulling the tights just for the first pinfall.
True.
The second
you should have heard the smack too, and this is what wasn't picked up on the camera that I can give you as the third guy. They were talking some serious smack the entire time, so there wasn't just wrestling. These were brothers like duking it out. If anybody has a brother and you submit it and you made him say like uncle back in the day, like this is how these two guys took it to each other in this match. This was far more personal than just a wrestling match.
Right. Oh yeah. You could tell with obviously with the events that happened towards the end of the match. But Casanova was desperate right away with the first fall by holding the tights. The second fall, even though Koyama won, he won by DQ because Casanova wouldn't break the Coquina clutch. So you're already desperate right there as well. And then desperation number 3, and I know Koyama took part in this, but you blew the mist in his face. So there was 3 moments here in this match in which he showed desperation. I don't think Koyama did that once, really. So that's why I think that proves my point and backs my point that I think Koyama was going to win the whole time, because he just felt more confident, and apparently Casanova did not. I will say this was a fantastic match, regardless of whether you like the guys, don't like the guys. They put on one hell of a 2 out of 3 falls match. But I am disappointed in one thing. I was watching this match, and then Caden Koyama came out first. And even though I thought Caden was going to win,
I knew you would hate this.
Even though I thought Caden was going to win, he came out first, and he came out to new music, new entrance music. What are you doing? I am here. My pants on for once, and I'm ready to shake and bake and wiggle and jiggle and do all my stuff to JK's pop music, and then you come out to new music, Caden? What are you doing to me? My God! So then I instantly shift from one end of the pendulum to the other, and where do I go to? I go to that chance for Casanova. He's like, all right, Casanova's gonna come out to his entrance music. Nope, he drives out to his own stupid music that I have no clue what the hell is either. Now, I hope you two beat the hell out of each other, and I hope Ref Mark turns it into a no DQ match, because now I have no dog in the fight. Look what you guys did to me. And then I had to take my pants off because I didn't care anymore. My God.
I knew that was just when the music hit in that ring, right when they were starting that match, when Arias was doing the inductions, I heard the music, and I knew that was going to set Triple I off like a rocket ship. The minute that we heard 2 separate entrances, that he was going to have a conniption about the music, because we've heard how much he loves it. We've even heard him verb it.
We've heard the Triple I remix of the JK Pop theme music.
I can't remix this crap right here. There's no beat to it. There's nothing.
I thought Casanova was going to win this for every reason you guys have talked about. He wasn't so much desperate as this is what Casanova does. He finds ways to win, and I can tell you, with the pulling of the tights, that was his plan anyways. He definitely had that in his arsenal. I honestly think he didn't let go of the coquina clutch because I think he was hoping that once the bell rang, Caden would still be out of it and he could get a quick fall that way and win the match, even though it was 1-1. And then the mist, he always does that. Like, I thought Johnny Casanova would win this match because I thought that he had a lot to prove. He still has a lot to prove, but Caden is the better brother.
By win-loss at Milestone when it mattered, Caden Koyama won because Casanova made that pivotal mistake at the end. Look, if anybody thought that this was just going to be a pure match all the way down the line, then I don't know what you get at the store, but I know it's different than what I get. So at this point, you have to just expect the absolute JK Pop expected, not the unexpected, the JK Pop expected, and that's everything that we got. They missed at each other. We're looking at pulling tights. We're looking at one knucklehead not letting go of the thing and the other brother getting so lucky that his arm hit the rope and that the whole head, like this match doesn't transpire for two other competitors the way it transpired for JK Pop. And I really, even before we were doing a prediction show about this, I kind of thought to myself, this was going to be where Caden outsmarted Johnny and won the match. And that's exactly what happened. When we talked about him going to the water bottle, where Casanova went to the towel to wipe the mist, his face was still covered and couldn't see. They missed at each other. What am I supposed to do? Ring the bell? No, you did it to each other. So deal with it. Deal with it, right? That's even Steven. I'm like, no one person's at fault more than the other right there.
At least you didn't get missed.
No, I didn't. I kept a comfortable distance. I've watched Rocky Mountain Pro before, and I know my duty as a referee is to be funnier if I counted them both out. But I didn't get the chance to because they got back in. But Casanova made the mistake that Koyama didn't, and then Koyama hits the pedigree and wins. We've said it before. We've said it again. Koyama is the technical aspect, and today and at Milestone, I'm sorry, he proved he was the brains. He proved it, and he is the better brother.
And Ref, Mark, my last 10 seconds I want to say on this is, despite how, and I'm talking about you here, because you're the one that was physically in the match, refereeing the match, you were physically there. Despite your personal feelings about either one of them, is it safe to say that they both put on a hell of a match? Because that
I have to say, no matter what, yes, this was a war of a match. This wasn't your classical wrestling match. Like I said, this was brother versus brother, and they both left it all the way out there.
Did, yeah.
One of the brothers was just one step over. Yeah, Johnny, I see you in chat. I remember you yelling at me when I called that second fall, and you looked and go, I don't even care. I don't even care if you take the fall against me. You should have cared. You should have cared. Because you didn't care is because that's the reason why I raised Caden's hand, and then I looked at you and had to shake my head when you were looking back at me. Is the knucklehead already over, or what are you guys doing? Because I have no idea.
The Henry's not over. There's
guys are
another
a mess right now.
up that they're not done for the night.
Well, let's let Lucas go here. Lucas has been patiently waiting.
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciated that both of them did exactly what they would do to other opponents to each other. They didn't hold anything back. They went into the match as if they would any other match, as if there were titles on the line. You could. I just felt like it was important to both of them. They showed the competitiveness. They did exactly what you would expect out of Johnny Casanova and Caden, and they put on a hell of a match. I give kudos to both of them. They, we may not like some of their horse cockery, and I just like saying horse cockery because I like watching Triple I get giddy every time someone says it. It cracks me up. But it's just it's what we're used to seeing, and I, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want it any other way. It's what we've expected out of JK Pop. I think we would all be disappointed if we didn't see it. So it was a great match, and like you all said, I think the best man won. Caden was the best man, at least on this particular night.
All right, let's keep everything rocking and rolling here. We got the Locketch Championship up for grabs in this matchup here. Lilith Grimm going up against JC in, I believe, the third ever coffin match at Rocky Mountain Pro.
See the lights change. Place got a little colder when everybody got to the ring during this.
Well, Marky, you might as well start off because you're the one that talked first.
I'm sorry, dude. I was just there. It was
Oh,
freaky.
actually, first, hold up. I'm sorry. Queen Vampires, thank you for the $4 in super chats. Remy D. Fabulous and Zamore. Now go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah. Listen, we don't have to sit here and rehash the whole Lilith Grimm versus the Asylum. We know. We've seen it. We've seen what Salem has done. We've seen what JC has done. We've seen Noel. Lilith brought it at Milestone. She had to. She couldn't leave anything behind. She had to bring it all to the ring, and she did. And she put it all to rest. Ooh, little moth just flew by me. She put it all to rest at the end. Between her and JC, I don't know, maybe Skylar Slice could fit into this category of the absolute hottest hitting Lockettes in the entire division, maybe even the state of Colorado over there. These two just really did not hold back, and they can't, because JC's almost a demoness in her own right at this point. I don't know if either one of these women feel pain, but I know one thing. At the end of this match, Lilith Grimm was feeling more joy than she has ever felt, because she does end up getting JC in that casket. And boys, did you see at the very end, she dropped the mask, her old demon mask, in the casket with her before she slammed that door down. That's a statement of an end of one chapter and the beginning of something brand new. And I think this is a brand new Lilith Grimm, new confidence, new swagger in the step, and a brand new attitude towards the Lockette division, where she is now on top, and now she is the brick wall that is the Lockettes champion. Now, do we think the Asylum is gone? Probably not. JC will rear her head. I'm sure we had not heard the last of Noel either. But this is big for Lilith. Sunday, we've seen him go up and down many times through the graveyards, back through the Asylum, into the arena. Lilith Grimm proving herself at Milestone that she is the champion, but we've talked about it before. It's a lot harder to hold it than it is to win it. Lilith's path going forward, who has put a target on her back?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily feel like she's completely done with the Asylum, or with all that's gone down, to win one match and wouldn't take that title, and then just to think you're done with them, I think would be a misstep on Lilith's part if she thinks she's done there. But as we talked about the Colorado Cup with Skylar Slice, starting from the number one spot and making it all the way to the end, that's another one right there that you would think would be a competitor for it as well. So Lilith has no shortage of people looking to take that away from her as soon as she's got it. So she's got to have her head on a swivel and keep looking forward. And like I said, just keep yourself ahead of everything and ahead of everybody else. The Asylum's going to be there. You're gonna have JC wanting to take it back. You're gonna have Noel trying to get at it as well. You're gonna have Skylar Slice, Lola. There's no shortage in RMP, and we've seen it before where people come from outside of RMP and come in and take that title as well too. So who knows who else could be out there lurking and wanting to get that shot? And even Lucas mentioned, if like an old school Lockette wanted to come back and maybe get a shot at the title, maybe they can make that happen as well. But to me, it's either keep your eye on the Asylum and definitely keep your eye on Skylar Slice. If Triple I, what do you think the Asylum does from here? They haven't lost much to have to overcome that. So what do they do here?
So I think what they have to do is they have to regroup, and in order for them to stay relevant, in order for them to stay strong, and keep their footprint in the Lockettes division, they need to recruit. They need to get stronger. They need to get bigger and better. And here's why. And Sonny, that's my answer. But a good segue into that, guys. This was I know it was a coffin match for the Lockettes championship. This, in my opinion, was a 4-on-1 handicap match. All right, it was Lilith Grimm against JC, Salem Wolf, Noel, and then the unknown, which could be an orderly. It could be someone from the past that we're not sure of. It could be someone that's never showed up at all that we're unsure of. It's called the unknown. Lilith Grimm fought a 4-on-1 handicap match here, essentially, and still was balls out and won this match. Now, was it in convincing manner? No, because JC, we can't take anything away from anything from JC as well either. This was the hardest up to this point Johnny and Mark, you guys are there. In my opinion, this is the hardest hitting match up until this point, right now. All right. Both women brought the fight to each other. So this is not easy. But for Lilith Grimm to overcome what she has come within the past several months with all the psychological and emotional stuff with the therapist and everything, her friends turning their backs on her, having no one left in her corner, then doing this 3-on-1, 4-on-1 stuff, and a coffin match, and then to win the title, bravo. Take nothing away. I give you your flowers. That is awesome. So I think that Lilith has already faced much adversity to begin with, and that has only made her stronger for what's to come down the future.
I mean, this is the culmination of 3+ years for Lilith Grimm to get this title. This is work. This is blood, sweat, tears. This is your sanity, your mental capacity, and she cashed it all in to get this title, and now that she has it, now it gets tougher. But I think she can handle it. We saw that she didn't let the demon take over. She used that aggression, that power, but she channeled it, and now the demon's gone, as we saw in that statement where she, put the mask in and then destroyed it. I mean, let's not forget the state she left that casket in.
Oh no, she hammered that thing into oblivion.
Yeah. So this is, I think this is Lilith Grimm, as you said, Marky, closing the book on one chapter and then starting to write the new chapter, which is going to be, I believe, a very lengthy reign with that Lockett's title.
Yeah, guys, when I had an opportunity to talk to Lilith after Milestone, I've never felt the confidence like I did that night. She just now, I think it's gotten to a whole new level. I think now she realizes there's really nothing she can't conquer. I think she conquered all of her fears, and I'm not talking about fear of the asylum. I'm talking about fears of dealing with herself as the demon, and just what she can do to kind of control herself and get over some of the hurdles that have held her back. And now she has conquered all that. The other thing I want to bring up really quick, and I didn't hear anyone else mention it, is what about Noelle's reaction there at the end after everyone had cleared out? She looks in that coffin, and I've never seen that look on Noelle's face and that scream that Noelle had. Something was really bad in there. That either, I don't know, maybe they were gone. I don't know, but something very bad, unsettling to Noelle. And if it's unsettling to Noelle, it must be really bad. So we may not see the asylum anytime soon, or maybe ever, guys. If what happened at that coffin match was as bad as what we think it might be, that might be the end of the asylum. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens, but I know they're a kind of a powerful group, and a lot of supernatural stuff happens over there. But it did not look good just reading the body language of Noelle.
All right, are we all set with the coffin match?
For now, we'll see what happens in the future, but yes, for now.
All right. Moving on here, we have the tag team titles up for grabs here between Manny Lemons and Lord Mitchell Taylor going up against La Isla. Coastal, why don't you start this one off?
Well, I mean, we'll get to how this wasn't your traditional tag team match in a minute. La Isla had it rolling. They really did. I'll give it to Manny Lemons and Lord Mitchell Taylor, or Lord Lemonade, or whatever they're going to be called from now on.
Lemon Lords.
Lemonade.
Lemon
Yeah,
Lords.
the Lemon Lords.
I like Lord Lemonade better. That's way better.
Hell yeah.
No sugar either.
Yeah, sugar-free Lord Lemonades.
Oh, yeah.
They're very capable, and we see this. Manny Lemons seems to find him a way to make lemonade out of pretty much anything that he's given. You know, we saw him get a charge title shot against Remy D. Now we see him just find his way into the tag team division with a random partner. And they were very, very apt to the test. But, guys, La Isla had this in hand. They were just doing what they had done for months now. Just literally just, you know, tag in, tag out, take care of this, take care of that. And they were rolling. And then a hooded figure shows up who we know who it was because we could smell him through the TV. And, you know, Bruce Wiggins hates him. He hates him. And then we have new tag champs, guys, and I feel really, really bad for La Isla here. Marky, we saw the fallout from this on Charged. They're going to start doing their own things here, but I just feel like there's something unsettled about the tag title reign of La Isla. It was either it's too short or it just doesn't feel like it should be over.
Because it shouldn't be. Because it absolutely shouldn't be. They should still be the champions. However, one hooded figure jumped in the ring and changed the course.
Somebody cast it over.
Thank you. Of future history in RMP with one uppercut. One uppercut and two animals that fell off the mountain, and now the Lemon Lords are now your tag team champions. This is after everything we've seen La Isla be over the last few months in champions and just tight as brothers and just that close, that this is a terrible way to have seen it.
It's disappointing.
Go away. It really kind of is over one nut shot from somebody. But remember those guys, those JK Pop guys, they couldn't get a tag team title shot so long as La Isla had the belts. This is almost like this is their long-term plan the entire time. Throw everybody off by making them think that they're fighting each other and all this other thing, and then somehow miss their way back into the tag team title situation. And it seems as though that's what it was. I do think that it was an abbreviated title reign for La Isla, far too short. And now, boys, here's the problem. We got these two crafty veterans with these tag team championship belts on Sunday. We've seen these guys go, and we know that they know the other side of the equation, how to keep the belts and keep themselves relevant. What do you think of the Lemon Lords?
Well, the Lemon Lords, obviously there's plenty of veteranism and plenty of talent there. But I mean, I don't think they win this match without the help of the Hooded Pops. So like you said, you know, keeping the titles a little different. With RMP rules, you don't quite get that same advantage that you do elsewhere. So I think if they revert to what they've known on keeping titles in their history, it might actually be a negative for them. So it is a little different because of the current rules in RMP, where they can't just get that DQ and continue being champs. Like JK Pop did more than one time during their runs. So it is a little tougher on them, but they are veterans. They'll find ways to do different things, you know, do it behind the referee's back or distractions, things like that. So, I mean, but I think obviously La Isla has a claim to a rematch, like immediately with how that went down. It's not like they got pinned clean, not like they lost clean. So I'd be fighting for a rematch immediately, as early as possible, and but I'd also want to get at JK Pop if I was them as well, knowing what they did to make this happen. So I mean, it's almost like a menagerie of crap now, because of it's three teams kind of trying to lay claim, and now it's like who gets who, and who does La Isla go after first? Do they go after JK Pop and get them out of the way, and before they go after the Lemon Lords? And then if that is the case, then who do the Lemon Lords now have to defend the titles against? We talked about your starting lineup earlier as somebody that could step in and kind of fill that. So maybe, you know, let's find like a tag team fatal 4-way ladder match and just figure this all out.
Oh, I'm in for that. I'm good.
So
I like that.
I mean, Triple I, what are your thoughts? La Isla, where do they go next? Do they go get the revenge against JK Pop, or do they go try to get their titles back?
I think when it comes down to Sunday, what's of more value to you if you're La Isla? What's a bigger priority for you? Is it getting revenge on JK Pop, or is it getting your tag team championships back? So only La Isla can answer that, because we can't read their minds. So what's of more value to them. That's what it comes down to. I will say this, just because Lemon Lords won the match, or Lord Lemons, doesn't really matter at this point, just because of the new tag team champions, they didn't prove anything to me. I'm sorry. They won the match. They won the tag team championships. I get it. That didn't prove anything to me. We saw what happened at the end. And for the majority of the match, La Isla was having their way with them. And I have no doubt about it. All of us predicted on our preview show that La Isla was going to win this match. And rightfully so. They should have. So if it wasn't for the outside interference, they definitely would have. So what do I think happens from here? I said that it depends what La Isla wants. From my point of view, I think they need to go for those tag team championships right away. That would be my first option. Because here's why, guys. You can go after JK Pop anytime you want. Belts or no belts doesn't matter. You can go after them whenever you want. Okay. When an opportunity presents itself for a tag team championship, you take it. When's the next time an opportunity for a tag team championship is going to present itself? It's not like it's going to be there week after week after week, or pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. You don't just get title shots whenever you want. So take the opportunity now, if it's there while it's hot, and you pounce on that, and you go from there.
Guys, I'm going to say something that's probably going to be very surprising to all of you, but I'm going to say that La Isla should have known better. That if anybody knows JK Pop, it's La Isla. They should have known that JK Pop was going to do something to try to get those belts off of them, because it really shouldn't have came to that big of a surprise to them. They know that JK Pop will literally do anything and everything to get those titles back, and if as long as they had the titles, JK Pop wasn't going to get a title shot. So of course they were going to try to screw him one way or the other. They should have been ready for it. I know that that's easier said than done, but like I said, they know JK Pop probably better than anybody else. They should have had a plan B and a plan C and a plan D, E, F, all of those, because we know that JK Pop is always going to be prepared for something. And of course, with that slimy little lawyer too, they had contingency plans in place, and one finally worked. So we're going to see now. Does JK Pop, do they get in the title picture? Will someone else get in the title picture? But yeah, there's no automatic title rematches in Rocky Mountain Pro. Right. So La Isla goes back down to the line, and just reading the body language of both Echo and Balaam from what we saw even this past charge, I'm not so sure that they're going to be teaming up again anytime soon. It kind of looked like they were ready for a little time off from each other. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, this unfortunately might be a kind of a short end to what was a great tag team. And but I think them not being prepared for what JK Pop was going to do was their downfall.
But how could you be prepared if you're focusing on the opponents at hand?
That's the problem with JK Pop. You have to be prepared at all times with those guys. You've seen it even during their over 2-year title reign, almost 3-year title reign. They're going to do anything and everything, even if they're not involved in a match, and we shouldn't be surprised anymore. So you have to always be prepared when you are in their radar. That's what happens.
All right. We are moving on to the NRW Championship match, last man standing between Mercury Yaden and Damon Ace. Sunday, why don't you start this one off?
This one was brutal. Oh my God. we've seen some last man standing matches in all of wrestling. We've seen some in RMP. This one was one of the more brutal ones I've ever seen, and we kind of expected it between these two. These two just have an absolute vile hatred for each other. They just want to see each other in pain. I mean, that's all they want to see. I mean, just chairs everywhere, the barricade getting thrown around, getting Yaden throwing Damon off the top rope onto the pile of chairs, then Yaden going to jump himself, and Damon gets out of the way and he throws himself onto a pile of chairs. Let's just all pile of chairs here. Yaden hits a Mercury Rising, but only even gets an 8 count out of that. Doesn't even get the 9 out of that. Never mind the 10. But then it's not the way I wanted this match to end. I wanted somebody to get knocked out. I wanted to end this rivalry. Let's knock somebody out and end the rivalry. But for Damon to wrap up Yaden's legs and chain him and padlock him and make it so he could around the post there and make it so he couldn't get up. And Maki, I know it had to hurt you so bad to count to 10 right there. That had to hurt you so bad. I could see it in your face when you went. You just had to reason with Yaden and say, what am I supposed to do?
Even Titus said it on commentary when I watched it back. He goes, Maki hesitated, and I did. I'll be straight up honest. As I was counting, I couldn't believe. You just kind of feel like maybe he's going to find a way. It's Yaden. He's going to find a way to get this chain off at 9.5 and just get back up to at least a knee and a half. You know what I mean? Yeah. And once he got to 7 and 8, and he still just couldn't. I had to say 9 and then 10, and I looked him right in the eyes. While he was there, writhing, trying to get around that ring post, I had to count the 10. Yeah. It was the craftiest, most violently intelligent way you could have won a last man standing match. Damn you, Damon Ace.
But, like I said, does it end the rivalry now? It's just, I think it leads to more fighting between these two. Like they said, everybody was talking in chat. I know there's no rematches in RMP, but all it takes is win a couple matches, win a number one contender again, or anything like that, and Yaden can get there again. And, hey, he might even say, "Screw it! I don't even want a rematch for the title. I just want to fight Damon Ace again." And we can do it without a title on the line. So I'm curious to see how that goes forward, because if I'm Yaden, I'm living in Damon Ace's shadow right now and just ready to do whatever I can to take him out. But I mean, if the Triple I, if you're Damon Ace, how do you move forward from here after outsmarting the CEO?
If I'm Damon Ace, I won not only the battle, but I won the war, and I outsmarted him. That's what it came down to. Violently intelligent. That's part of who he is, and that's exactly what he lived up to as well. So there is no rematches right away, as Lucas pointed out, and the chat has pointed out as well. So if I'm Damon, I look to my next challenger. I look to my next opponent. Who is my first title defense against? Who am I going up against? It's like a fresh new chapter essentially. If I'm Damon, I'm done with Yaden. We had 3 matches. I had the deciding victory. Whether people want to say it's controversial or not, he's not going to care. He's never cared what anyone's thought about of him. All he knows is that he won the match, and he did win it fair and square. If you think about it, he did. So there's no controversy here. I can understand. I think it was Marky, either you or Sunday. I can understand for maybe having the feud go on, or Yaden wanting a rematch, or Damon wanting a rematch, whatever. But there was nothing controversial about this because no rules are broken. There was nothing controversial about this for one man to want to get revenge on the other, or to want to just beat the living crap of the other person. Sometimes you just got to chalk it up and you know what? He got the better of me. He outsmarted me. It is what it is. Because if you don't, then when does it end?
It never ends. Just like the Hatfield McCoys have never ended. Cats and dogs are going to fight forever. Damon Ace and Mercury Yaden will fight until the only thing left on this earth is them and cockroaches. And then they'll fight the cockroaches. It is one of these things. They're never, ever going to get along. And as long as they are in the same building, they will fight. And now Damon has something that Yaden holds dear to him, those letters and that gold. And Yaden feels it was not taken from him fairly. I just think it is exactly what we said. Damon is violently intelligent, and Damon Ace never once scoffed at the fact this was a last man standing match for reasons we didn't understand at the time. We thought it's just because he's a badass. No, it's because he had a plan. This was his plan from the beginning. I don't think he just thought of that spur of the moment. I think he was waiting, biding his time, and he found his opportunity to do it. I'm a little worried about Damon for this reason. If he truly thinks he's done with Yaden, what is his motivation going forward? The motivation was to beat Yaden. It wasn't so much the title. What is the motivation to hold on to it?
Well, I can tell you what his motivation is. His motivation is knowing that he is the guy when he walks in to the Wimmer Arena, when he walks in to any of the venues that we're at Rocky Mountain Pro. He knows that he beat the guy that founded this company. He beat the guy that is responsible for almost all of the training that of guys that have moved on and gone on to do big things. He beat that guy, and that's what he now has in his head when he walks in. He can say, I'm the guy here. But I will say I'm a little disappointed in Mercury Yaden, not in the fact that he lost the match, but the fact that, you know, he said that this was over between him and Damon Ace quite a long time ago. He said that. He said, I'm done. And, you know, so he had the one last match at Milestone, and now it doesn't seem like he's done. He can't accept it. This is what he expected out of Damon Ace, and now he's not willing to accept it. I'm a little disappointed because I've always looked to Mercury Yaden as being a man of his word, and now it seems like he's going back on his words. So that I'm a little disappointed. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. But yeah, it looks like they're going to fight forever, as Coastal said, until it's just them and the cockroaches. That's what it looks like. We saw just how angry Mercury Yaden was at Charged. I never seen him quite that fired up, using that type of language and seeing just how he was acting at Charged.
Well, to be fair, Yaden did try to end it months ago when he beat Damon Ace.
Truth.
And Damon Ace just kept on coming and finding another way to get at the NRW championship. Yaden's put him down before. And Damon, being as persistent as he is, just kept on going after him and after him. And now that Damon finally has the NRW championship, I feel like Damon has stolen something very special from Yaden. And now Yaden's taken everything else more personal than I think he's ever had. And quite frankly, this all could have been done at Shocktober if Damon Ace lost to Bruce Wayans. We might not even be talking about this. When Damon fought Bruce Wayans at Aces Wild for that #1 contendership. Mm-hmm. And Damon Ace has won a couple of these matches where he could have easily gone after Drake, could have easily gone after the big belt. Damon kept on going after Yaden. I don't think this was entirely Yaden's fault.
No, it's like Damon went to make it personal first, and Yaden was just wrestling to defend his honor. Now, it seems as though now Yaden wants to give it back on an absolute personal level and equal that level of adrenaline to Damon Ace, except now...
It's equal, yeah.
Right now, well, now it's the other way. Now Damon's the champ. Now Damon has the ways. Now Damon has the leverage over Yaden. So, you know, the odds may have changed a little teeny tiny bit, but Yaden's turned up that aggression. We saw how he was uncharged. I remember that night, and that was an absolute mess of a time trying to keep those two guys apart. This is by no means over, but I think Yaden is going to take it to a much more angry, much more personal level and try to equal that level of violent intelligence that I don't know if he can get to that same level that Damon gets to, but he's got to get a little bit deeper than he's gone the last couple times.
All right. Are we all set with the NRW championship?
That was such a good match.
Yes.
All right.
When that guardrail came in the ring, I went, oh,
yeah, I couldn't believe that.
oh, shit. The chairs were one thing. The guardrail went, oh, shit. All right, I'm going to stay over here.
All right.
I'm going to stay over here.
Coastal,
Yo,
your favorite wrestler was in this match. Atiba versus Bruce Waynes versus Curtis Cole in a number one contendership match for a title of their choosing, which eventually would be the RMP Championship. Go ahead, Coastal.
I hate Curtis Cole, but
Hear you?
damn it, is he good in the ring, and he figures out ways to win, and he did it again. He basically let Atiba and Bruce figure their crap out that they've been going on for months now, and he was like, oh, okay, time to win? Yeah, I'm in. He's slimy, he's scummy, but he figures out ways to win. He's a terrible dancer, makes all the women in Colorado puke every time he wiggles. It's terrible.
Terrible.
It's awful. And he just... I'm sorry, guys. I hate it when he wins, because it's just that smug smile he gets when he wins. Like, makes me want to puke. Now he has a decision to make, because it's for the RMP title, right?
Correct.
Do you wait until somebody dethrones Drake? Because there's no weight on this, right?
I believe
'Cause
he
you
is
still-
scheduled for NRW.
Okay. All right. I didn't know it was... Well, I don't have to worry then. I have approximately about 6 more weeks to deal with Curtis Cole, and then he will never be heard from again.
That's true. Will definitely be Drakeified.
Yes.
Sorry, Lucas. Sorry,
Lucas. I know. This is not something to laugh about, but seeing Curtis Cole in that situation would be fun.
You know,
Marky,
he
go
wins.
ahead.
He wins. He gets his opportunities, and he's been very much the opportunist in RMP lately. The ultimate opportunist, putting himself in the right place at the right time at the end of the match when it's winning time. And now, guys, he's not just a number one contender for the RMP title. He also has a number one contenders match coming up at a later date for the Ignition Championship too. So now
I had a
this pain in
solution
the
to that
ass.
the other night.
This guy, huh?
I had a solution to that the other night, if you remember.
You did. Oh, no, you absolutely did. Go back and watch Reignited for that conversation. That was a fun conversation. But at the same time, now he's putting himself in positions to have, even if he loses one, he still has another number one contenders match. As much as this guy has been a thorn in the side of commentators, broadcasters, audience members, small animals, everybody that exists in his universe. All right, at this point in time, he is coming out on top, and I am not here for it. Damn it. Please, somebody end this. This is the one time I'm going to look at Drake and go, please get him. Please get him good. Please. Please get him. How does Cole keep getting away with this Sunday? What's the thing? What's the thing?
He one reason is he doesn't suck at cheating. But
that's, yeah.
But the thing is, it's funny because when the tag dudes first split up and Cole turned out to be what we now know as Curtis Cole, he had trouble winning any match at that point. Like he was struggling at the beginning of it and everything, and then all of a sudden something's happened and he's figured out his ways of finding ways. He always finds a way to win. Whether like you said, this triple threat, he had nothing to do with that finish other than a cover. That's basically it. You know, yeah. That was Bruce, as you said at the beginning. Let Bruce and Atiba kind of do their thing, and I'll slide in when I need to. And I don't know. I mean, I mean, you said he's going to disappear. He's going to get Drakeified and all this stuff. But we also see that he finds ways to win. Could he find a way to win against David Drake? Could he become RMP champion again? Because he is a former champion. Could he do it again? And could he be the one to end the reign of David Drake? So, I mean, there's a lot to be said here. Curtis Cole is smart. He just is. My question is, where does Bruce and Atiba go from here? You know, they were trying to climb back as former champions. All three guys, former champions, all trying to climb back to the top of the mountain. Where did they two go? What are your thoughts on that, Triple I?
I think Bruce and Atiba, I think before I answer that, I think they were so focused on each other throughout the match. And I'm watching them more focused on Cole, but their priorities, in my opinion, from watching this gentleman, was on each other. Maybe not necessarily winning the match for number one contendership match for the RMP title, because they have such a huge beef with each other, right, Sunday? So I think that's part of what led to Curtis's win in the match. We also have to give more credit to Curtis. I know we don't want to, guys. He may have been sneaky with the win and snuck in at the last minute to get the victory after the beautiful elbow drop by Bruce Waynes and everything. He defeated two other stars, and I say stars, not wrestlers, stars here, because that's how good they are. And Bruce Waynes and Atiba, two former world champions in the same match. When's the last time someone has said that? Can claim that they have done that? Probably years and years ago. But so give Curtis Cole his props here for defeating the greatness of Bruce Waynes and Atiba. He did what he had to do. What happens with Bruce Waynes and Atiba going forward? I think this is not settled. In my opinion, unlike Yaden and Damon Ace, where I think it should just be done and over with, I think these two need to have a final match just to end it all. Whether it's a steel cage match or a last man standing match or whatever the case may be, these two need to settle it once and for all. Because if they don't, how can they move on with their careers? How can they focus on other priorities in RMP, such as the RMP Championship or Chara title or Edition title or number one contendership match for these titles? How can they move on and focus on that if they don't settle their beef with each other first? So they have to squash the beef with each other first. That's the next step, Coastal. Sunday, excuse me.
So my take on this match, you guys already know how I feel about Curtis Cole. I know you all think that you hate Curtis Cole more than I do. Trust me, I own that title. But I'm not going to bash Curtis Cole during this time. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He did exactly what he's done pretty much his whole career, and that's when the odds are stacked against him. It is what he does. As much as I hate the guy, it's what he does. It's how he won his first Rocky Mountain Pro title. I don't know if you guys know exactly what went down in that match, but the first time he won the Rocky Mountain Pro title, I believe it was a fatal four-way match that he didn't even know he was going to be a part of. Mario Vander had to drop the title that night at Shocktober, and it was kind of just put together last minute. He didn't even know he was going to be a part of it. He was definitely the underdog of the four competitors, and he ended up winning that match. So I've seen it time and time again. This is what Curtis Cole does. He is one of the greatest stars that we've ever had at Rocky Mountain Pro as far as wrestling ability. So I give him his props all day on that. Doesn't change the fact of what I feel about the guy personally. And really quick, Triple I, about you saying that Bruce Waynes and Atiba need to squash the beef. They've had problems for a long time. Even when they were a tag team, they always seem to kind of let it go after a while. I know that this is kind of a new territory with, Atiba, having him as a subservient and all that. But I think you'll be surprised that these two could kind of still coexist even with all the tension. I've seen this in the past, so they somehow are able to coexist at times. So we'll see how they do after this. But yeah. Curtis Cole, give him his props. Now you've got 6 weeks of playing the mind games with David Drake. Good luck with that, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of Milestone 13 put together the two oddliest of matchups I think we have ever seen in a main event at Milestone. Sin Bodhi going up against David Drake for the Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Championship. Lucas, why don't you start this one off, sir?
That's a solid pick.
All right, I'm going to go first, talking about the guy that kidnapped me 2 times.
2 times.
2 times. So this match was probably what most everyone expected. Not a lot of scientific wrestling, although there were moments that, especially from David Drake, where he was out wrestling Sin Bodhi. Sin Bodhi used a lot of his normal unorthodox tactics to get an upper hand on Drake, and this really started to be a solid back and forth matchup, hard hitting. You just a lot of the weird stuff that you would expect from Sin Bodhi, and I just think that when David Drake, we all are focused on all the crazy, psychotic stuff that he does to try to get in the mind of his upcoming opponents. We forget just how good the guy is in the ring. We saw him just take everything that Sin Bodhi threw at him, and he was able to counter, and he was relentless, trying to go for that mandible maul, and that's usually how he ends his opponents. And no, not this night. We saw him with that maneuver that he's used lately, that kind of almost like that Falcon Arrow type maneuver that he's been using, and to end Sin Bodhi. Well, the Sin Bodhi was the guy that we all said you couldn't play mind games with. You couldn't beat him at that. Well, he didn't have to play mind games. He just out-wrestled Sin Bodhi in this matchup and beat him.
And that says a lot about David Drake, as you were saying. What is odd to me about Drake is he wrestles like a man that's desperate, but he has everything. He has the title. He has the mental edge most of the time. He has you shaking, but is it just me, or is every time he wins and he walks away, it seems he's looking back like he survived rather than... I'm a little worried about when he does lose, what it's going to do to him mentally, because remember, he got in this spiral because he just couldn't seem to hold on to anything dear to him. So he just kind of pushed everything away and is solitary now. I think half of this is he's crazy, but I think the other half is he's literally losing. I think that right now he wouldn't know what to do if he didn't have that identity as being the champion. I think it's actually safer for everyone concerned if he has a title, because if he doesn't, bad things are going to happen. And poor Sin Bodhi found that out because, yeah, you can't win mind games against Sin, but you also can't go head on with a tractor either. And that's what David Drake is. He's a walking, talking machine that just hurts people. And until someone figures out how to disable the machine, he's going to just keep doing this.
I mean, but to take nothing away from Sin Bodhi, as David Drake walked away, he was physically altered. Like, he was in some pain. You could tell that he was in a match with a guy who knew how to hit the pressure points, knew how to hit the crucial joints at the crucial time to take him off his feet. Sin Bodhi is no new guy. He has been around. He knows. He's seen people like David Drake before and understands that it's not about the mind games. Once the bell rings, get in there. Between the two of these guys, it was going to be who could outpower. There wasn't going to be a lot of catch-as-catch-can and a lot of like hammerlock reversals. There was going to be a lot of heavy clotheslines, a lot of heavy forearms and things like that, kicks in the corner. And that's very much what we saw. And David Drake just had that like Falcon Arrow type move, almost that like front brain buster, Michinoku buster in the front. And he ends up getting a win and looking really, really good. But Sin Bodhi knew he was in a match, but so didn't David Drake. And Drake, each time we've seen him defend this title Sunday after he's had big match against big match, he's walked out a little bit worse for the wear. Now, there was an interesting comment in chat by Titus a couple minutes ago. Curtis Cole has all the tools to beat a David Drake. Do you think Cole was watching that match and is kind of paying attention and learning which way to turn those screws in order to kind of like push David at some point in time?
Well, Curtis Cole is an excellent button pusher. and it's kind of what he does and kind of how he gains an advantage because he's just very. But we don't know. We haven't really seen anybody really able to push David Drake's buttons. Is it even possible to really get him off his game? And I know because even a guy like Sin Bodhi, who's Coastal, about him and how well he can play a mind game.
Yeah, he's not here, right?
Yeah,
No, you're good.
Not at the
You're
moment. No.
The circus is in a different town.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I said it when we were just talking about Curtis. Could he be the guy to dethrone because of all of his guile, his smarts, his willingness to go to almost any length? He could be the guy. But again, if you get caught in that mandible maul, it's over. So you got to just not get caught. And we saw this match with Sin Bodhi. Drake went for that mandible maul over and over and over again, and Sin went for that double unhook DDT over and over and over again. And it was basically both of their strategies was hit my big move and it's over. And neither one of them really could. And then Drake had to he was the guy that switched better than Sin did and hit that Falcon Arrow-like maneuver and got the win. So, I mean, it's weird to say it, but Drake outsmarted the veteran that is Sin Bodhi here. He out-wrestled him, which that's kind of scary too, isn't it, that he out-wrestled Sin Bodhi? That not scary? Triple I, what did you expect David Drake to be able to out-wrestle Sin Bodhi?
No, not in a million years. I expected him to win the match, but not out-wrestle Sin Bodhi. I think what we underestimate here, guys, is we all comment on David Drake and how demented he is and psychotic and crazy he is. Well, David Drake's also a pretty good wrestler, if we remember correctly, before he went to this psychotic phase, this deranged phase that he's in right now. And David Drake also is not stupid, very intelligent. And what happened here is David Drake knew that in the biggest title defense, in the main event of the biggest pay-per-view of the year for RMP against the likes of Sin Bodhi, it's not your typical wrestling match. He knew he had to go above and beyond. So he studied his tape. He studied his film. He took his notes. He rewound the tape, rewound the film, and took more notes again and realized, hey, I can't do my typical offense. I can't go with my typical array of maneuvers here. I can't go with the normal blueprint that I go with to win matches. You have to think outside the box when you're in the ring against the likes of Sin Bodhi. So people are gonna balk at the fact that he went for the mandible maul one too many times. I commend that because
I agree.
Because David Drake knew Sin Bodhi would be expecting it. So instead of trying to blindside a veteran with your devastating maneuver, give it to him in the face, literally right away. And what worked out was the reason why the mandible maul never worked is because Drake knew Sin would expect it and knew how to counter it or get out of it or escape it. But he wouldn't know is that Drake would out-wrestle him and hit a Falcon Arrow out of nowhere to win the match. So he's probably thinking, all right, mandible maul, get out of it. All right, fight. When's the mandible maul coming? When's the mandible maul coming? Not realizing, oh shit! I just have the Falcon Arrow hit on me, and I had the wind knocked out of me, and I can't recover from it because I've been too busy fighting the mandible maul off the whole match. Great strategy by David Drake, and not only did he out wrestle Sin Bodhi, he outsmarted him as well.
Are we all set with the RMP
That's it,
Championship?
Johnny.
That is it.
Wow, what a great show.
Milestone,
Yeah.
amazing show.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on Milestone 13. Actually, before that, let's give a shout out to Johnny Deathdrop with the 99-cent coffee tip. Just make sure you add sativa in that one.
So really quick, I want to give also a special shout out to the Titus Machiavelli, who made his return at Milestone on commentary.
Yeah.
I know you guys mentioned it, but it was great to see him back on commentary with him and Dean and KD killing it on commentary. Back where he belongs. He's in some form of capacity, he belongs with Rocky Mountain Pro. Great to see him back, and hopefully we'll see more of the big evil genius Titus Machiavelli.
All right.
Agreed.
Final thoughts on Milestone 13.
From top to bottom, it was fantastic. I mean, there wasn't like a match that there wasn't the bathroom break match. There wasn't it was everything kept you intrigued. Everything kept you from bell to bell, watching the all the packages in between. All of it. It was all production. Everything was good.
Yeah, no, top to bottom, all the way down to J.K. Pop's brand new music. It was for each one of them individually. It was great. No, I kid. Such a great show. Such a great show. Thank you, RMP, for having Johnny and I to be a part of it and everything else. But yeah, no, one season ends and a brand new season begins. It's actually already begun last week on Charge. So everything's going forward. We have a couple new champions. Damon Ace with the NRW, Lilith Grimm with the Lockettes title. I mean, we have new tag team champions in the Lord Lemonheads. So there's lots of new happenings going on in RMP, and I'm here for it, man. 23 into 24.
I think we normally, when Milestone ends, we have a lot of questions answered, and we move on to that new chapter. Here, I still think we have a lot of questions that are unanswered, in my opinion. We really do. What is happening with Remy D going forward? How does he bounce back from this? We talked about La Isla. Who do they target? J.K. Pop? Do they go after the tag team titles? Do they just go their separate ways and just go for singles gold and dominate singles competition? That's a huge question as well. What's happening to the Asylum as well? We saw Lucas mentioned how Noel just basically had a nervous breakdown at the end of the match. What's going to happen with the Asylum? Going forward, Mercury and Damon Ace. I'm not going to rehash that. We spent a good 10-15 minutes on that. There's still many questions left to be answered with that as well. So. And Bruce Wayne and T, same thing to that point. So, to my opinion, there's a lot more questions unanswered than answered.
There's a lot of scores to be settled at NRW coming off of Milestone, and there's a lot to digest in the next few weeks. But I think what we have here is exactly what Triple I was saying. We have a lot of unfinished business, and I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff finished up at NRW. Because, remember, guys, every match at NRW has a situation. So her leftover feelings from Milestone and the bad taste you have left in your mouth, you can literally slap out of the person that gave it to you if you.
All right. Lucas, anything from you?
Just wanted to say that, yeah, this was one of my favorite milestones. Like I said earlier, this was my 11th milestone that I've been a part of. And I would say this one ranks probably in the top 3 of the milestones that I've been at, with just all the different surprises and memories. We had 3 title changes. I can't remember that happening on a milestone. So this one was high up on my list of milestones. So for my wrestling career, this was a big night. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And on a very, very personal level to the masshole, I want to say that a lifelong memory that I will never forget, one of the greatest memories of my life, happened when I disqualified Johnny Casanova. That felt so damn good.
Yeah, that counted 3 on him.
That felt so good. So I DQ'd him, I counted, and then I shook my head at him. That felt so good. Thank you, RMP, for making an old guy feel good. I appreciate that. Thank you. Put a little life back into the old veins. Thank you very much.
Oh, my God.
It was great.
That's freaking awesome.
All right. So, like it was mentioned before, a chapter ends and a new chapter continues. That also goes to the same for the dudes as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dedicate the rest of the night, because we got about roughly 9 minutes or so, which I'm actually surprised we got through the card pretty quickly as we did.
Yeah.
So we're going to let some people come up and talk and speak their minds, and these dudes have the floor for the rest of the night. And for the other ones, just sit back and just let these dudes talk. Whoever wants to start.
I guess I'll go first. So, as of tonight's gonna be my my last night on Dudes and Belts. At least for now. I can't say it's a permanent thing, but it's gonna be a while. I got a lot going on, a lot of personal stuff, a lot of things to kind of hash through. I've been doing this. When did we start this, Marky Johnny?
We're over 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it was like January, February of 2020.
yeah, it was right before the
Right
world
before
ended.
It happened.
Yeah, right before the world ended. So you guys started it about 6 weeks in, 7 weeks in something like that. I joined in and been here since. Sunday nights. This has been my Sunday nights for, like we said, over 3 years, 3.5 years or so. So I don't take this decision lightly. I've pondered it for a little bit of time, but I wanted to at least get through Milestone. It's Rocky Mountain Pros season. So I didn't want to kind of drop it in the middle. I wanted to keep going. So this is going to be it for me for now. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be a goodbye. I think it's going to be a see you later. Whether I ever come back full time, I don't know if that's a thing. It could be something where, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but if the right time shows up for me to pop in here and there, that can happen. But it's going to be hard for me to continue doing this and putting the time in every week that I need to put in to make this work. So that's my announcement for now. I know there's another announcement to be had, so I want to let that person say their piece as well.
Well, since I'm the one talking, that kind of gives the hint right there. I'm also going to be joining Sunday and following his footsteps, and also taking a break from now, leaving the show. Honestly, it's just my bedtime is 9 o'clock, and that's what it comes down to. No, I'm just messing. No, it's been I think with 3 years to me, I was the last person to join, second to last person to join, and we joke around obviously, and we shoot the shit, and we have fun and everything, and it allowed me to be someone other than my professional self for 40 plus hours a week. So I've been a long time wrestling fan since I was 8 years old, and will continue to be the rest of my life. And I got introduced to something outside of mainstream wrestling, which is RMP, and I like to think I caught on really quickly with who people were, and I got invested in their characters, got invested in the D. It was phenomenal. That's what happens when you put on a great show. You get invested in certain things. But it was great. We got to meet everyone. Got to go to Colorado twice. We've had special guests on here, special interviews, some good discussions, good back and forth banter. It's been great, but unfortunately, I just can't put in the time right now. So I may pop in from periodically here and there, but as of right now, it's not fair to just to keep showing up 1 hour a week. It's not fair to everyone else. So I'll be taking.
Well, if you ever pop in, you have to pop in like you did on that special Christmas episode that we did a couple seasons ago when you popped in very, very lubricated. So definitely pop in.
He was jolly. He was jolly.
Yes, he was. The Christmas cheer was flowing.
Hey, and you know what? And in perfect wrestling terms, we wish you well on your future endeavors.
That's right. Absolutely.
I appreciate it, Coastal. I actually have several endeavors that I am working on right now. Actually, just taking up my time. But no, I hear you, and I'm always lubricated. Just so you guys know, I will always have this on me.
I set you up for that. So good, so good.
And this next to it, so it will always be there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we got some comments in the chat for you guys if you guys want to check them out.
Yeah, yep. So from RJ, thank you, Sunday and Triple I appreciate your contribution and best of luck until we see you again. Yeah, RJ, it's, like Triple I said, we've met a lot of people, made a lot of friends doing this that, made a lot of friends that are 2,000 miles away or more. So it is tough, but obviously I'm not going to forget all the people I met, and these have made some pretty cool memories. Johnny was doing commentary with Lucas on the pre-show this year, but last year that was Coastal, and I got to that was fun. So like I've done some things that I never thought I'd do in wrestling because of 5 guys that just got together and decided to talk wrestling with a camera on this time. You know what I mean? Because all it was is we would talk wrestling with the camera off and said, why not put a camera and a microphone and see what happens? and it's something's happened. So it was definitely cool. Definitely a great experience for me, and it's like I said, something I won't forget. And
right. Yeah, I just to add on to what Sunday said, 1,000% what he said. Johnny mentioned in read the comments that just your average Jen, we'll miss you. Jen, you'll always have a piece of me with you, literally, because you have my DNA on the sign that I gave you. So I'll always be a part of you. So
it's hummus. Make sure to preface it with it's hummus.
No, I have a lock of my hair there.
That's honestly a little more disturbing than the first one.
Actually, no, he did tape a piece of hair on.
I did. I autographed it. That sign has a bunch of stuff on it, including a lock of my hair. So I'll always be a part of you. Don't you worry. I'll always be there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Titus, we ran the ropes. I got taught how to throw myself out of the ring. That was pretty fun too.
I had the ropes once and got a giant black and blue on my back.
Oh yeah.
You're muted, Mark.
Mark is muted.
Sorry, the more you do it, the less of the bruise that you get. But it is what it is. Titus, I love Titus. Dude said DNA.
All right.
Triple I puts himself into his art, guys. Lay off.
That's right. That's right. I absolutely, I give it my all. I mean, hell, this is the only show. Where else am I going to look up promos, whether they make sense or not? Where else am I going to look up promos other than this show?
Oh, dude, I do it at the bank. I do it when I'm ordering a pizza. Absolutely.
I do it at work.
I tried that. I got arrested one time, so I can't anymore.
Not surprising.
You should have heard. I ordered pizza while we were out in Denver one night over the course of the weekend, and I went full 100% Boston accent on this guy, and it took about a half hour to order these pizzas. Man. It was
a large Roni.
I asked him for a wicked large pepperoni pizza, and the guy's like, "What is a wicked large?" And I'm like, "The largest of the large."
Right.
And he goes, "What? Large?" I'm like, "Yeah, put an R where the A is."
Yeah,
I was having a hell of a time with it. It was hilarious. Oh, good God.
He learned some masshole words of the day, huh?
By the end of the conversation, the guy wanted me to just keep talking. He didn't want me to hang up the phone. I'm trying to cut a promo on him and mess with him, and he's like, no, keep going.
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay.
Thanks, D.
You already read that?
Yep.
I think I missed something else. Another
Zamori.
comment. Yeah, Zamori Queen.
Thank you, Zamori. Dude, yeah, much love to you, man. You are killing it inside the ring, and I've met you outside the ring, too. Awesome guy you are, man.
Lucas, do you have anything?
I just want to thank both of you guys for just being so entertaining each and every week. You guys are going to make it kind of hard shoes to fill, as I'm going to be doing Sundays now with the dudes. I will not be bringing in a bottle of Jergens lotion, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, or what's the plan?
Yeah, or Gold Bomb. Yeah, whatever brand. I'll try to find something to entertain the masses, but I don't think I can ever fill Triple I's shoes. But you guys, in all seriousness, I hope we get to see you back sooner rather than later, and it's good to have had these times with you guys. So I hope everything works out, and we'll see you again sometime.
I'll make it a promise. I'll definitely pop in. This isn't the last, like Sunday said, periodically here and there. We'll make an appearance again sometime.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a goodbye; it's a see you later. And Lucas, it's always been fun. Anytime you've been on the show, and like I said, doing the commentary with you last year was awesome. So I have the utmost respect for you. Nobody knows RMP like you. So that's why we always go to you for the questions of official questions and such. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be T-Hood keeps the bottle of lotion on stream.
He does, D-Horde. Didn't you ever see him?
Oh yeah.
Usually that's how he checks into the stream.
Oh yeah.
As soon as his camera goes on.
T-Hood, did you not see it last time? Here, let me demonstrate.
Oh, for
There you
fuck's sake.
go.
All right, I guess for the last time in a long
There you
time.
go.
All right, I gotta let him do it.
Oh,
Gotta
and
let him do it.
I shaved my arms today too, so I gotta lube those up too. Oh
I
yeah.
shaved my arm.
This is
nice
the way
one.
to say happy trails right here.
Yeah, this is basically it.
This is great.
Don't ask questions. Just enjoy the moisturize.
Actually,
Just-
you
just
know what?
Let him enjoy.
You know
T-Horde.
what? Before we do this, obviously I want to thank both you gentlemen for sticking it out for the last 3 years. Greatly appreciate your service on this show. Your shoes are, your shoes are definitely going to be very hard to fill, like Lucas said. But very proud of you guys. You guys did a fantastic job while you were on this show, as much as you can. Even with all the issues that you guys had in your personal lives, you guys found a way to be able to still stick it out on a Sunday and be able to, do this show with us for how long we've been going. So I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys that are going to be leaving Eyes on Sunday. And to wrap everything off, of course, Eyes. I do believe we have one more intro left for the time that we have. So would you care and do the honors and giving the RMP faithful at the very least one last decent intro before you sign off for however long you'll be gone?
And I won't even take my headphones off.
Wow.
You know what? For the last time, I'm with you on that one, son. I'll keep it on the whole time. I'll risk the blood.
For everybody who is watching the show right now and are in chat, please, I'm going to give you the disclaimer now to please lower your volumes. And
He'll peak his mic anyways.
more than likely, but just be prepared that this might be a little loud if you have your volume all the way up. So, Eyes, go right ahead. The floor is yours, buddy.
Thank you, Johnny, and dudes and gentlemen, and Lucas, for the very, very last time, for the foreseeable future. You'll never forget me, because I'm going to remind you exactly who I am right now. I am the one, Triple I, Infinite!
I didn't even mute his mic. He's speaking.
That's his best peak ever.
Inspiration!
I don't know if he's ever peaked the whole word.
Like, it was peak.
He's still going. Wait, he's still going. That was the best peak ever on your microphone, dude.
Dude, you peaked like perfect. Like
He
there were
did.
no cracks, nothing.
Practice. 3 years of practice makes perfect.
All right. Coastal, anything before we sign? I mean, not Coastal. Sunday, do we have anything before we sign off?
I mean, I can't top
At least
that.
you won't confuse us anymore.
Yeah, right.
That is true. I do that all the time.
I can't top the Triple I intro. So
Just come back for a top 10 list, guys. That's all we ask.
Oh,
perfect.
God.
I hate you.
Nope.
Yeah, you can't pay me to do that. I don't think so. Hunter, we'll miss you too, man. I just want to say on a side note to Hunter, dude, your dedication to watching us and following us every week, multiple days a week, that doesn't go unnoticed, man. So greatly appreciate that. People like you is the reason why we keep doing this and why we've done it for so long. So thanks, man. Greatly appreciate it. If I was ever going to Colorado again, I'd give you a sign as well with my DNA too. But maybe next time. What? I gave just.
Can you come up with something else before we sign off? Because that's
Can't
not
you
a
just
very
say
good idea.
hummus? Can't you just say hummus?
Just say
no,
hummus.
It's not the same. It's not the same. A hummus stained sign with
You
DNA.
just said, dude, way to. He just. He just ended his dudes and belts career with a bang. Holy smokes!
And I just said no. I said like that a lock of hair. You know, something wrong with
You
that.
said that you would give him your DNA, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, like a lock of hair. That's what I do with Just Your Average Jen.
Yeah, say that next time. God,
It's implied because I said it the first time.
it's not
It was
implied.
That's not implied, bro. Like there's so many other things to imply.
There's other things implied. Johnny, we need to go before we get kicked off.
Yeah, we're gonna get kicked off. I agree.
This close to TOS.
Yeah.
This close.
All right, you two forget that guy ever said anything, and we don't know him. So
Yeah. He won't be here next week.
he definitely won't be here next week. All right,
When
guys.
you put on Facebook, I don't own the rights to this music, but they still shut the streams down. We do not own the rights to Triple I's verbiage, and they still shut the stream down.
All right.
And I'll still be on Facebook and Instagram too. I'm active on there sometimes.
All right. So if you want to keep following Triple I and Sunday, do you guys want to put out your socials?
Twitter,
Even
Twitter,
Dior.
Twitter for me is at GingerKidJeff. I mean, I think that's the best at the moment. I think I'm going to try that TikTok thing at some point, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I technically have one, but I couldn't even tell you the handle. But I think I'm going to try it, but I don't know. I'll go to my Twitter to find my TikTok when I get that going. Okay, how about that?
Yeah, I don't have time for TikTok or Twitter. My Facebook, you could find me on, it's Josh and then Rio. And then my Instagram is Realtor.
He has to look up his.
Yeah, because I don't memorize them.
Don't you have business cards with all that stuff on it?
With my Facebook, no, not with my Facebook and my Instagram, no.
How are people supposed to find you guys?
Oh no, they'll find me or I'll find them.
Or I'll find
That was
them.
creepy. That was creepy.
All right,
Yeah.
this is getting serious. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back live on Tuesday for another episode of Dudes and Belts Recharge. We will be making another announcement on Tuesday regarding that show as well. Make sure you Make sure you stay tuned for that episode. Following Rocky Mountain Pro Charge, episode 347 should be coming out an hour before we go live. So make sure you catch the 2-hour block. Also, I do believe that there will be shows coming up this weekend that we will be pushing starting Tuesday for the Denver area for their live shows. I think these are going to be the makeups from a couple of weekends ago. So, yeah, I know we missed it. It's okay, though.
I know.
But,
I wanted to do the thing.
Expect that, and of course, Ignition and Reignited Thursday as well. So another busy week of RMP content coming down the pipeline for you guys. RMP faithful, we greatly appreciate you. I know this is going to be a change that we're going to have to get used to, but obviously family and everything comes first, and these guys are definitely making the right decisions and taking care of all kinds of stuff that they have to do in their personal lives, because quite frankly, family and stuff like that is over the show. And we greatly appreciate their service again. I know I already said that, but I greatly appreciate Eyes and Sunday for their contributions, and hopefully they have a very good future ahead of them with their families and friends and all that stuff. And I'm sure this won't be the last you'll see them on Dudes and Belts, but for now, they will be saying their goodbyes or see you later, I should say, from what Sunday said. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We greatly appreciate the RMP faithful as always. Also, don't forget, make sure you leave a like on the video, leave a comment below the VOD, and make sure you subscribe to RMP so that you don't miss a single Dudes and Belts live show or Charge Ignition or any uploads, because there's been a couple of uploads this week too that you guys should check out as well. As for myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coast Crusader, Marky Pins, for the last time in a little while, Sunday Night Savior, and Triple I. And of course, you'll be seeing this guy every Sunday for the rewind shows and the membership shows, Lucas Bradwell. We will see you guys on Tuesday for another episode of Recharge. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one.